Good day to you, friends. Rob with you again. Coffee, life's simple pleasures. So, tried to take a break from atheism, but apparently it's just not working out for me. So this video I'm going to just break down 4 reasons why atheism just doesn't work at all. So, just to give a preface for this video, remember a number of years ago, it was a beautiful sunny day, summer sunny day, and I really tried. I tried to concede if atheism was possible, and it was a beautiful sunny summer day, and that didn't help the atheistic cause in my mind at all. I remember looking around just thinking, is it possible? Is it possible for atheism to be true? And I remember looking around on this beautiful summer day, and I'm like, it's just not possible. It's not possible for all of this to just come on its own with no guided process. It's not possible. Okay, but then, and I've heard this word, I don't know, a lot of people, well, you just believe the Bible unquestionably. Well, it's just the most moronic, ignorant claim someone could possibly make of me, because people think that I believe in the Bible, I haven't questioned it, then, well, yeah, that's just ignorant, because I've questioned the Bible many, many times. Now, when I was in my early 30s, so when I was in university, I really did question the Bible a lot. So this is talking 2011. So, yeah, about 13 years ago, I put the Bible to the test, because, yeah, I was raised in a Christian home, and yeah, I believed the Bible to be true, but I needed to know the Bible to be true. I had to know that the Jesus I read in Scripture would really be coherent with reality and life. And the thing is, that by that time I already had committed my life to Christ, but I don't know, I had a bit of a crisis of faith in 2011. I had a crisis of faith about a lot of things in my life. I'm not going into personal detail, but suffice to say, a lot of things in my life kind of fell apart in 2011. I'm not going to get into all the details, but just know that that's true. That a lot of things in my life fell apart in 2011. I was a very difficult person to be with in 2011. Thankfully, I was not in a relationship at that time, and if I was, it wouldn't have lasted. But yeah. So the first point is the epistemological argument. Now, the epistemology is just a big word that means, how do you know what you know is true? Foundation. I've used this analogy, and I'm writing about it in my book. My book is supposed to be published in sometime mid to late March. That's my target date. Mid to late March. So about a month's time. So that's exciting. And so, for example, if I were to build a house, obviously the only way that you and I or anyone can build a house is from the ground up. It's the only way to build a house. Now, so of course we have to start with what? The foundation. So, say for example, I'm a contractor, hypothetically speaking, and I start cutting corners. I use cheap material. Maybe I build the house on a slant because I'm not using proper levels. And then as the house is okay for maybe a number of years, but eventually the house starts to crack, deteriorate. Maybe the basement gets flooded because the house is built on a slant, and eventually the house starts to crumble, and there starts to be a whole bunch of structural problems. Maybe the house even could even tip over, implode, or have a whole bunch of other issues because the foundation was off. Now, the same is true and equally applicable for your life. if the foundation for your spiritual life, your emotional life, your psychological life, your physical life, if all those things are off, it's only a matter of time before your life starts to deteriorate and crumble and implode from the ground up. So, and the reason that you can know that epistemologically atheism doesn't work is why? Because you can't prove atheism is true, because it's an unprovable claim. You can never prove there is no God. No one can. So the epistemological claim, the moral claim, and the logical claim all kind of interconnect, because it doesn't work logically because it doesn't work epistemologically. It doesn't work morally because it doesn't work logically or epistemologically either. Because you can't trust it as a foundation, you can't trust it for morality or logic. Because the reason you can't trust it for logic is because because you can't trust it for epistemology. And the reason you can't trust it logically is because if the thoughts in your brain are just the result of an unguided process, so the neurochemicals firing in your brain are just the product of an unguided process, then you have no reason whatsoever to trust your thoughts to be, ironically, logical. And because you can't trust your thoughts to be logical, everything is determined, there's no such thing as morality in an unguided process, because morality, for morality to exist, you have to have the lawgiver, because laws come from lawgivers. So for morality to be absolute, standard for morality can't be what? Human, because if morality were dictated for morality to be absolute, there would have to be a lawgiver that isn't human, because if morality to be absolute can't be human, because if we're just humans, see, if your morality and my morality are contrary, then there's no morality but humanity. Morality is just arbitrary, meaningless, and pointless. But so that's why for epistemology, morality, and logic to be absolute and true, there has to be God. And the reason it doesn't work, what was the fourth point? So logic, scientifically. So it doesn't work. So obviously atheism doesn't work scientifically because, simply put, you can't get everything from nothing. Intelligence requires intelligence. Life comes from life, intelligence comes from intelligence, and everything comes from something or someone. Now, the reason that we know there has to be at least one uncaused first cause is because what? Infinite regress is what? Scientifically impossible and logically absurd. So eventually we're going to have to come across an uncaused first cause. We call this being God. Now that's just a simple analysis. Of course, I get much more into detail about the morality part, especially in terms of slavery and supposed genocide of God, which is outlined and described in the page of Scripture, more specifically in Genesis, in the Old Testament. So, in Genesis and Exodus deal with slavery more than any other books of the Old Testament. But I get into that more so in other other videos in my YouTube channel. So I've done a lot of talks about atheism. Right? So remember, atheism doesn't work scientifically because you can't get everything from nothing. It doesn't work epistemologically because it's unprovable. It doesn't work logically because there's no such thing as logic in a predetermined, unguided process. And it can't be moral because morals would for something to be moral or immoral, there has to be a lawgiver above humanity, which of course means God exists. So for morality, science, logic, and epistemology to work, God must exist. Now we haven't gotten to the God of the Bible yet, but just for the sake of argument, God must exist for morality, science, logic, and epistemology to actually function. You cannot function without God. Your very existence means God exists. And guess what? You know it. You know it. You know God exists. Just see, it's not that you believe God doesn't exist. It's that you don't like, if you're not a Christian, it's not that you don't, or that you claim to be an atheist. It's not that you really believe there is no God. It's just that you don't like the way he runs the show. If we're going to be honest, we got to start with there. It's not that you believe that there is no God. It's that you don't like the way God runs the show. It's simple as that. All right. Peace out. Brother out.